morning, students. Today we are going to take up chapter 6, part A, which is Introduction to Staffing. In this, basically, we'll be dealing with human resources, which is one of the 5 M's, where the M's are man, machine, material, method, money. So we are going to take the most versatile and important resource, that is human resource. Now, the staffing function places importance on human resource and their appropriate placement. Often you will see that we say man as an asset or one of the input in the form of 5 M's is playing a pivotal role in the success of the organization. And in a layman's language, if we say staffing is putting right person at right job, and you can further amplify it in saying at right time. In this, what happens? There are certain terms where people get confused. HRD, HRA, HRM. HRD is Human Resource Development. HRM is Human Resource Management, and HRA is Human Resource Accounting. At gross level, they all are interrelated. But if we say the intricate marginal variation at your level, in human resource management, what happens? We try to reshuffle people from one table to other in order to ensure that from the existing resource, I can get the best output. From the existing resource, I can get the best output. For example, if we have 2 commerce graduates and I have 2 vacancies for them, one is marketing, other is desk job, that is accounting. Now, somebody who loves to go for conversation, loves to go for extensive traveling, is best suited for marketing. And there might be somebody who is willing to work behind the curtains without making a big issue of his existence. And there's no error in his work on pen and paper. So that person has to be taken up for accounting. If I reverse the situation, what happens? The person who was meant for marketing would be putting all blunders on your accounting records, putting whitener, because he's not comfortable with that paperwork. And the one who was meant for accounting, if sent to marketing, after 2 to 3 lines of repeated conversation, would come to a saturation and could not go with proper marketing activity. So, as per the choice, I'll be giving out so that I get the best out of that employee. Then is HRD, identifying the potential of the person. To what extent he can be pulled up in the benefit of the organization. He might have joined at a very low level, but his level of intelligence you identified is of something altogether different. So you need to develop that person's potential and place him at right pedestal. Once these 2 are over, your actual work of accounting starts, that is human resource accounting, that if I say man is an asset, what is the cost of that asset? What benefit I am getting out of that person? And what I am going to give him in the form of remuneration. Now, we say a simple quote that an organization should ensure that their asset, here referring to man, walking out in the evening should come back next morning happily and satisfied. Happily and satisfied. That means we are more focusing on retention of the employee. Getting people might be easy, but retaining them is tough. If we take a simple example in an organization, every time an employee is coming and then he's leaving, then the next is coming and is leaving, it's a question mark on the organization that there's something wrong, that you could not retain your employees. Reverse aspect is also equally valid, that if we find a biodata of a person where more than his age he has switched over the jobs, that means he's a job hopper. You cannot rely for confidential or strategic positions to be given to that man. Now, we can say here that staffing is an inherent part of HRM. And what you could see over there on the other side of the slide, that today the HR professional's role has gone for tremendous change from what it used to be earlier. What I was talking about retention, that was to be induced because what was the earlier concept, hire and fire, was not very good in long run. It was giving a bad reputation to the organization, and overall the market is small. You are known for your activities, what you're doing with your employees. So rather than that, be very careful for getting people and adopt right procedure for staffing, which we'll be taking in our next part. In part A, we are only going for introduction. Part B will be taking subsequent activities and topics. The right policy is retention policy, because there's no guarantee that the next one that you will have would be better than what is the existing one. Now, if we say importance of staffing, the first thing is you want efficient utilization of resources, and you want that with this qualitative staff, your cost of production would reduce. There should be job satisfaction. If you say that a PhD person is coming for the job of a peon and under compulsion he is taken up, there won't be ever any job satisfaction because his mental level is not meant for that job. So you need to see this part. Then, whatever is the present and the future need of the employees. If I say that an employee is joining as a clerk at the age of 18 or 20, and I would say after your 20, 30 years of job, you will again maybe retiring as clerk only, would anybody join? No. Because money stops to be a motivator beyond a limit. So the future need in terms of promotion, upgradation has to be there. That slowly you have departmental exams, you have part-time colleges, professional courses, you take up those studies, and as per your level, we'll be upgrading you. That is both present and future need has to be seen. Then a coordination among the employees, has to be worked out in a proper manner. Now, with this, the introduction part comes to an end. What we say, a very common saying, Great vision without great people is irrelevant. Thank you very much. And in our next slides of part B, we'll be taking up staffing process.